Welcome to the Brett Danko live review or virtual review. So some of you are taking live, some of you are taking virtual. This is a process. It's a journey in terms of getting through this. You've taken the educational courses and now you're ready to pass the exam. Signed up for our course, so thank you for doing that. I really appreciate that. We don't do advertising. It's basically word of mouth usually. People hear about us from various people or various chat rooms and things like that, and that means a lot to us because people are actually coming to us because they have somebody who has said, hey, we believe in this course and they can help you get through the CFP. Look, we send out 3 books if you're a live review student. If you're a virtual student, you got 4 books. So what's our approach? What is it that we want to do? Well, first of all of this is for one thing. It's for you to pass the CFP exam. I love when people are like, I'm going to take the CFP. There's none of that. You're going to pass it. Why would you say you're going to take it? The only reason why you're taking it is because you're passing it. So that's our big thing. It's an action verb. I'm passing the CFP exam in November. That's what's going to happen. And that's what I need you to keep in mind. Because there's a lot of time studying you're going to do when nobody sees you. And you're going to have to get out of bed, or you're going to be studying at night, or you're going to be studying on the train to work, or doing a lunch hour. And nobody's going to see you. The whole time you're going to be thinking, I'm doing this because I'm passing in November. That's what I want you thinking. So you get 3 books if you're a live review student. Those 3 books are General Principles, Insurance, Investments. That's one book. The second book is Income Tax, Retirement, Estate. The third book is Questions. Then an extra book only for the virtual students is the actual live review book, which I don't want you looking at all if you're a virtual student. You will be looking at that when we do the virtual class over 2 weekends in October. For the live review students, you'll get the live review book in class whenever you take the live review in October. So how are we going to approach this? You just open up the books. You open it up, you do chapter 1 of General Principles, then boom, you go ahead and do the quiz in book 3. Then you look at it, you grade it. You're not trying to get an A on it. You're trying to say, okay, what did I miss? Oh, that's a bad question. Oh, let me go back and look at, look at that question and see why I got it wrong. And let me look in the material and maybe learn that concept better. And then you got to move on. You move on to chapter 2 of General Principles. Chapter 2 of General Principles is new. It deals with the new CFP Board Code of Ethics. So the standards. So you're going to go ahead, that's brand new. There's not a quiz to that. Then you'll go ahead to chapter 3 of General Principles. Then you'll do the chapter 3 quiz. And you keep doing that. Now, people will say to me, do you have a study schedule? I don't do a study schedule. Not because I don't want to, meaning I don't send you a study schedule. And here's why. The simple goal is before the virtual review or before your live review, you want to be done with the material. That's what I really want. Okay, that's the goal. The virtual, if you're not done, it's not the worst thing in the world because you have plenty of time, but you want to get through most of the material. That's what you want to do. All right, so what'll happen is I can't send you a study schedule because you're signing up at different times. Some people have had the material for a month. Some people just got it last week. Some people aren't going to get it until tomorrow or the next day because they just signed up. So that's number 1. Number 2, I don't know where your strengths and weaknesses are. So you might get bogged down in investments, or you might blow through investments and get bogged down in income tax or retirement. So for me, I don't want to sit there and say, well, you spend a week on this or you spend this on that. It's really going to be as you go through it. The key, though, is you have to get through it. What will happen is people will say, well, I went ahead and I really know General Principles. Well, what about the rest of it? Well, I just spent 120 hours on General Principles. Well, that's no good. You got to get through. We're going to be hammering away at General Principles and all the other topics in the live review. Plus, after the live review or the virtual review, then I'm actually going to give you a study schedule. So that study schedule, and then the last 8 days or so, you're going to be doing nothing but questions that we're going to send out to you that are very difficult. So understand that's how we're doing this, okay? I need you to realize you don't need to be an expert as you're coming into the virtual review or the live review. Why? Because you have time after that to work on your weaknesses. That's the key, okay? You will have time afterwards. So this is a process. We just need to get through the process. And the biggest part of it is, how many hours do I need to study? Well, I'll have people who study 50 to 75 before they get to the live review or the virtual review, and they'll pass. I have people that will study 125 or 200 hours and fail. So there's no right or wrong. The average is usually around 100 hours. Is usually. It could be as low as 75, but that's usually the average, just depending on what your strengths and weaknesses are. Also, experience is going to play a big role in this. If you have a lot of experience working with clients, dealing with financial planning situations, then guess what? You actually have a leg up here. Because for you, you're going to be like, oh yeah, I've dealt with that. Oh yeah, I've dealt with a Roth conversion. Oh yeah, okay, I'm reading the material and I'm understanding it. For other folks with less experience, you say, I'm doomed. You're not doomed. It just means that you need to put in a little bit more work. And I think that's one of the keys here. The exam really does benefit folks who have more experience. It just helps. So how do you make up for that? If you don't have experience, you just make sure you put in extra time so you know the concepts even better, since you don't have the experience with it. And that's really it. Again, I just welcome you to the journey. I'm going to help you. I'm going to be your Sherpa, trying to take you up the mountain. If you go to Mount Everest and climb it, people are like, well, I climbed Mount Everest. And I was like, yeah, I had a person who told me that. I was like, well, who brought up all the supplies for you? And they said, oh, the Sherpas did. I said, well, who made sure you had tents and food? And who made sure that they made sure that all the ropes were in place and the bridges were in place, the ladders that they have, that service bridges? He's like, oh, the Sherpas did that. I said, okay, so you did climb Everest. That's huge accomplishment. But it ain't like you did it on a weekend and kind of cruised up there and did it. So understand, our material is going to be helping to get you up the mountain. Here's the deal, though. That individual who's telling me about Mount Everest, which is a monumental accomplishment, that person still had to take those steps and actually get it done. So the Sherpas helped, but in the end, they had to be the one that actually took the steps. They had to be the one that get to that summit and accomplish this goal. So that's what I'm trying to do. I'm your Sherpa. I'm trying to give you the material, give you the stuff you need, give you the inspiration you need through the virtual review or the actual live review, and through the material, and through the extra questions that you don't have after the live review. You'll get those, and a study schedule, etc., etc., etc. And guess what? You're going to make it. You're going to get up that mountain. You're going to make this happen. So thank you. Thank you for entrusting us with your CFP, passing goal. And I look forward to seeing all of you. Thank you.